Hi, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Lex Kane's TV reviews. Tonight I'm doing a spoiler review on the latest Planet of the Apes movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, starring Owen Teague, Kevin Durant, and Thea Allen. These were the key characters, and there was some cameos as well. And it was a fantastic movie, good storyline. Um, it was going back to the character Caesar, because Caesar in the last film, spoilers if you haven't seen it, you get to see his death scene when you get to the promised land that they were trying to find to be free from war and danger. And then for 1 minute scene before we get into Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, there's a 1 minute scene of Caesar's funeral with all the original characters. They've kept them as you saw them in the last movie, but with the effects being enhanced, and it looked fantastic to see Caesar for that one last time. And then we jump forward sometime in the future. I don't know if it's 800 years or somewhere in that timeline, and we get to see the ruins of the cities and towns. Now some of the city buildings look like mountains and hilltops, and some mountains have overgrown, and you see some fountains and water streams and stuff like that, and still bits of the human world left, what remains. And we get to see the Eagle Clan, and Noah and his friends have got to do this to get an egg, and one of these are eagle eggs to train and bond with eagles, and a bit like what you see in these wildlife parks where they train a man and a woman to train how to handle an eagle on their arm. It's the same thing with the characters of this sci-fi film. And cut the story short, they get the eggs and they come back to their village and town where they live, and you can see out remnants in the background of some of the what was human life and now overgrown with vegetation. And with the Eagle Clan, they're more like a fishing town because they smoke fish, so they got like to barbecue them, and then they eat the fish rather than eat other things. The fish is part of their diet that they eat in that clan. And it seems with what was happening with Caesar, there's factions now. We only get to see this faction, the Eagle Clan. And cut the story short, before they go home to the village, they see they call an echo, which is a human, someone running and darting, and grabs one of the I think it's a sack or a blanket or something. Noah's one from his horse. So they chase, and now the Forbidden Zone in this version of Planet of the Apes, because there's loads of Easter eggs, like the Forbidden Zone is a bigger place, is this train tunnel, and they're not allowed to go beyond. And in their clan, they have different rules. They're not allowed to go beyond the point. They have to go back. So they go home, and he reunites with Caesar. What am I saying? Caesar. Noah reunites with his mother, and they do is an Easter egg to Caesar's custom, which they don't know is Caesar's custom. They think it's their own custom, but Caesar brought the custom about where they lock on heads to welcome. They basically their thing for handshakes and being affectionate to each other as family and friends. And he's called. His father wants to go and see him, and he's going to say, I can smell echo on this blanket, and his father's got a sort of like rocket type character who is a tracker, and he said he's going to track down and see there's no more humans there, and going to track it down. And then late one night, before the next day where they're going to be given this initiation thing where they become um, tamers for the eagles and train with them. Noah hears something in the area where they smoke the fish to make it smoke fish, and here's someone rattling and someone running. You don't see the person, you see like a shadow and the back of them, and they run out, and then he realizes the egg that he's holding, but the baby eagle is gone. And he goes, I can't let down my father, can't let down the clan. And he says to his friends, I've got to go now and get an egg before sunrise. So he goes slowly at night, and he sees some unusual, like, look like scavengers or some kind of soldiers. He thinks it's echoes, and then he realizes it's another ape clan. And then he sees his father's friend, who is a tracker. He's been mortally wounded, and he's dying. He says, "There's other apes here. Like basically he's saying dangerous apes here, and they've they want to know. They're basically they're trying to interrogate him where this echo is, and where he's from, and he refuses. So then, Noah has to hide because his father's friends told him they're coming back. So he hides, and then he forgets that he's left his horse exposed in the area. So they have like this sort of taser type weapon, tase the horse, and it says the horse will know where they are and will find if this echo is there. So what happens then? Without no horse, he runs as fast as he can back to his village, and it's far too late. The whole village is on fire. All the livelihood, the fish, the eagles are still up in the upper part of this building. So he runs. His father's still there. His father's trying to defend the situation. And this big, huge gorilla type character knocks him out and then kills his father and then throws um, Noah's character right down. And then it's the next morning, and Noah's shocked. All his village is gone. So they're being captured and taken somewhere else. But he finds his father's body. He's died from his wounds, and he has to bury him. And then he has to find his father's eagle, which now will have to become his eagle, and find his clan at the same time. So he's traveling for some time, and then he rests for a bit, and then eventually finds this area, and then he's walking, and then he falls down into this area all with vegetation, and he sees this orangutan character called Raka, and he tells him the truth about this. He tells him that this Caesar is not the real Caesar. He's called Proximus Caesar. He's took on the ways of Caesar, but not the ways of Caesar would do. And he's more like a dictator. He wants power. He wants to be fully in control of all things, and he thinks what he's doing is not wrong. He thinks he's right what he's doing, and he says the real Caesar is written down in these historical books, and he's a historian. He's keeping records of him, but he's come to his village and killed all the orangutans, and he killed his friend, and he's had to bury him, and he's the last of his kind. And what happens then is they're walking around this area, and you find out it looks like some kind of science museum. And in the science museum, there's a telescope, and I think that's where it is. Or I think I've speeded in a bit too long there. Um, but it's like the science area, and they go out one day, and they see the the human character they call it Echo, and they befriend her, and they call her Nova. And he said, "What? Why do you call? Why you call Nova?" He says, "We call all the humans Nova," and he's wondering why that is. And then there's a fantastic to speed up to the story. They part ways, find these humans in this area, very much Easter egg to the 1968 Planet of the Apes movie. And you see these zebras. It must be they come from a zoo, that where there's been a zoo one time, and then it gives you the tone of the original Planet of the Apes movie, where they caption humans and they're trying to find the perfect human who's got perfect teeth and looks more intelligent than the other ones who can't speak because of the virus. Um, and basically Noah's about to depart and then sees where he's riding, sees from the distance and goes back. And Raka um, defends the humans, and they stop the capture of the humans, and they all escape. And then, cut the story short, they team up and they're thinking we should work together, apes together, strong together. I think the line is from the previous films. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments. Um, so, cut the story short, they're talking, and he says, "I think this human is very intelligent, but she doesn't speak." And she says, "I have a name. My name is Mia." And they realise she's one of these humans that have not been infected by the virus. Some are being immune to it, and some are not, like the ones who are dressed like the 1968 Planet of the Apes human characters in that film. There's little nods to Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes movie where they got this sort of like armor plate thing for this, the gorillas and the apes who work for Proxima Caesar. And so they're on the way, and they come to this bridge area, and it gives you very music vibes back to the original Planet of the Apes movie, where it's got that airy tone. And you see one of the henchmen that works for Proxima Caesar. He's underneath the bridge, and one's on the end where they want to go, and the other one's at where they started, and they're trapped and they don't know what to do. So they team up and they try to take on the villains. And Mia falls in this river type area where there's a long drop, and she needs help. And Raka goes, "Mia, I'll come to help you." And then he grabs, and he tried to get Raka and save him. And then Raka goes, "Apes together, stronger together" type thing again. And then they knock out Caesar. I mean, no, Noah. Sorry, Noah, and because Noah just looks like Caesar when you see him. Like he looks a little bit like Caesar in his face. The original Caesar from the Andy Serkis movies. So they wake up, and they find them in this they walking in this beachy area. Looks like a desert, and very got those vibes of the last scene of the original Planet of the Apes movie. And I come to this place where it looks like it's been a boatyard or military boats or some kind of boatyard and other things that have become like a castle. And it felt like Cecil Mills' Ten Commandments, with the children of Israel being captured and being put into slavery and doing work and for the Egyptians and that. And Proxima Caesar thinks he's the good guy. He's very much of a dictator, and he says this classic line, "What a wonderful day! What a wonderful day!" These are the words of Caesar, something like that. He says, and they have to repeat and chant it. And the story is he wants to get into this vault, massive vault, which the humans have left, and he wants to know what's in there because he says it's his, but it's not his. It's the humans own it. And what happens then is they have false alarms and they can't get in, and Noah finds his tribes there, and Noah gets invited to Proxima Caesar's table, and Mia's there with another human character who's learning Proxima Caesar literature and history. So he's at the table with Proxima Caesar having this meal, and it's he wants to know. He says, "I've heard you're very intelligent. I like you very intelligent apes that can fix things and learn things. Has she told you what's in this vault and all this?" And he said no, and he's very angry because he wants to know if he's seen things, and basically he's very power mad, power hungry. He thinks he's the second in line to Caesar, and Caesar was not just a king in the films; he was allied to some of the humans, and very um, an emotional character. And he's more like a hard, stricken dictator, and in his mind, he's not. And you can tell with his eyes, his piercing eyes, he's really power mad and wants to get into this vault at all costs. It doesn't matter if any of the apes die. He says he's got his kingdom. This is my kingdom. Felt like my kingdom for a horse type thing. And so Mia tells Noah when he reunites with his friend and his mother and tells about his father, and she said, "We know he's died," and he said, "We can't go back because there's no Eagle Clan." He said, "The Eagle Clan is in me, in his heart, like." And all of a sudden, there's this scene in the sunset's going down, and his father's eagle comes to him, and the eagle goes onto Noah's arm, and he knows his destiny now is to claim his Eagle Clan and leave this place. So they're thinking, how are we going to get into this base? Can't get through the door, and because the door's so powerful, you can't even blow it. So they put all this dynamite together with Mia goes and to get this, get it ready for later because she doesn't want Proxima Caesar getting his hands on it. I said, "How do you know things?" As I just know things, like, and she knows the knowledge about how to put a bomb together with dynamite. She makes her own trigger and stuff, and we don't know until until later where she's laid it out, because in the scene it looks like it's laid out on the actual doorway of this place, and this human man who's being forced to help Caesar is trying to stop them from getting in. And there's a surprising turn of events in the film where she just grabs him and does a choke lock on him, and he dies, and the apes are shocked, like, "You've just killed one of your own. Why couldn't you just reason with him?" And then they've had to dump his body over the shore. So they have to climb. They have to go down and then climb up the back, and they get into this base, and it's very much like that scene from when they go into this train station area, and Charlton Heston's character Taylor from Planet of the Apes goes, "This feels very much like a human train station." And he picks up a doll and it says "Mama, Mama," and it's got that scene in that film. Amazing idea with callbacks from those films, and very got much those vibes. And Proxima Season to me felt a little bit of like um, the politician Apes from the original Planet of the Apes movie. A little bit like Tim Roth's character from Planet of the Apes, Tim Burton's version, and very much like Cobra as well from the Andy Serkis's trilogy of Planet of the Apes movies. Very much in that tone, but an original character as well at the same time. And so she's trying to find a way for, she says, a book to get the humans to speak English. And you're thinking there's something else going on here. What else is going on here in this scene? So she says, I've got to go and find this thing that'll help humans speak. And you're thinking, how can they speak from a book if some of them can't even say any words because they've had this virus, some of them, and they can't speak? So what happens else in this is Noah and his friends go into this area and he find out the history of humans and apes, and he realised that the humans were the intelligent ones all along, and that this virus stroke injection give them the ability to speak and become intelligent and make the humans get ill. Some of them get ill and some of them not get ill. And they realise then, do we trust the humans? And then there's a little bit of like going back to that. So she finds a way to get the doors open, the blast doors open to the space. And lo and behold, who's waiting at the door? Proxima sees it. He says, this is mine, this is mine. He says, no, it's not yours. It's mankind's, but I'm not don't want mankind to have this. She doesn't want mankind to have it as well. So she's only after one thing. And she has a gun in her hand and shoots one of Proxima Caesar's minions because he's holding Noah's mother's by the neck and shoots him, and then he looks and realizes he's been shot and dies instantly. Proxima Caesar does something bizarre. He turns around and says, "Can you show me where those guns are? I want a gun." "No, they're not for you." And he's getting really angry. So what? Then she has this detonator thing to make it the bomb go off, and Noah thinks she's gonna blow up inside the base, but she's actually put a perimeter around, so the water comes in, and then she runs off and says, "I'm sorry," and runs off, and then you don't see her. Then in where they have the final battle scene. So the Eagle Clan get out. There's a bit of action. One of the henchmen, the big gorilla, has been mostly in the film. That character dies underwater. Noah escapes, and they come to this area, the back of the military stroke bunker base, and they think they're all safe. All of a sudden, Proxima Caesar appears out of nowhere and starts beating up our character Noah. And Noah remembers the tune, how to contact the eagles, because the eagles are flying around in this scene then. And he's laughing and says, what's this tune you're singing? And he's mocking them. And then they're all singing the tune, and he says, stop singing, stop singing. Then he attacks, the eagles attack Proxima Caesar, and he falls to his death into the ocean, never to be seen again. And then we cut back, and they all go home, back to the village, rebuilding it. And then we see Mia again, and this time Mia's got a gun, the gun held at her back, ready to kill Noah. But she realises that Noah's good and he's got good intentions, and she doesn't shoot him. And she gives him the thing that the orangutan character gave Noah, the symbol of Caesar, of that window from the um, Rise of the Planet Apes, to say this is the symbol of peace. And he said, do you think we ever will become allies and friends? And she says, I don't know. And then we see Noah and his one of his friends, which is basically his girlfriend now. They go to the science observatory place where the telescope is, where they see the whole the galaxy or moon and everything they can see. And then we see Mia go to this other part of the Forbidden Zone, very another bunker place, and she gives this thing to the place, and the scientist working in there, and he put it in, and they find out it's a communication device to speak to humans. That's what this thing was all about, to contact humans, see that out there. And you see Noah looking to the sky, and Mia looking to the sky, and it ends there. Will there be another film? I don't know. If there isn't another film, perfect ending to say, what if this could happen in the next one? If there's another one, I'll be happy to see it. If there isn't, it's a really good ending to finish that story off. I give it 8 out of 10. It's a good movie, but I think my favourite one is War of the Planet of the Apes from Caesar's last movie. But it's a good movie. I will watch it again. It's one of those ones you will put on and watch occasionally. Very good movie. Subscribe to the channel. Take care. See you soon.